And good afternoon. This is Tironan, and this is the BF 109F made by the Measurement Company. And let's see if this aircraft lives up to its predecessor, the BF 109E. We're on the Asian border map, and I guess we better get over there and try to help out our teammates since they're heading towards the military base that launches the rockets that helps us damage enemy bases and all that good stuff. You're going to find that this map is just chock full of high altitude everything. It's just what they are. And so this should be a good fighter to use in this scenario. We've got that. I'm hoping that we will go pick up a base, but I don't think everybody's decided what they want to do yet. So, leading with the crowd here, we'll just head over to this area here. See, we have a fighter inbound, has an A-26. This is not a great fighter to, that bomber is just not a great target for this aircraft. It has really effective defensive armaments. And as such, it's it's a great way to get shot down trying to do something that you can't do. Having tried it a couple times before, I've not had great success with it. So we'll kind of rough on from below. You notice he immediately starts trying to expose himself. Both of his turns. He's got no less than 450 calibers he can turn on you from the sides when he gets both that front and that back exposed. And this fellow wants to make my life miserable. And it's a P-47B. So we're going to use that very useful long-range 20 millimeter firepower to light him up a little bit and see if we can't convince him of the error of his ways. Now the P-47 is renowned for its diving capabilities, and I kind of doubt that under normal circumstances that the BF-109 Frank could keep up with him, but I managed to. And I've got an enemy on my tail. Let's see who that is. I doubt it was that one on Stuka was doing that. We're going way too fast. Turning off and not ramming heavier planes will greatly prolong your game time on this system, on the game. And watching opponents in these tight quarters is really to your benefit. It's very easy to end up dead here. Very easy to run into the ground. It's not my favorite place to be at. Well, that's where the action is right now. So we're going to light him up a little bit. See if we can't make his life a little hell. And hopefully not run into my teammates who seem to excel at killing me by ramming me and cost me up to 60% of my hit points. Now you'll notice that was a deliberate attempt to ram, and that's a heavy fighter's most beloved game. They can't get good targets on you. If they can ram you, they can use their superior armor, superior hit points, and just tear you up. This P-51 is a very dangerous opponent. So fast, it's not funny, and he retains a lot of his energy, which he will use in a heartbeat. And I'll see if I can't dissuade him from there we go. And we have this E. Boy, I love that E. From to get him, find somebody else to play with. Stop bothering me. And he is one determined guy, I'll tell you. He is going to turn with me all day long. And I am hoping that he gets tired of this sooner or later, because obviously we can't outturn each other, and he just isn't going to get the clue. And I really got other things I'd like to be doing than playing with him. Okay, now he's got took care of him. Hopefully I'll have to deal with him again for a little while anyway. Unfortunately, the only person I have to play with is this A26, which I would just as soon not play with, but we are way behind him. And that's what you get. We're playing with an A26 when you don't have heavy fighter or multi-role fighter type of armament. He makes you pay for it. Which gives me about 4 minutes to talk about the BF-109F. It is a worthy successor. It is faster, better. Armament's not quite as heavy, but it's more than sufficient to do the job. It can turn with most things. There are a few exceptions. You're not going to want to get into a turning fight with a Spitfire. But you can outclimb him. You have better performance at high altitude than the Spitfire. It's a pretty good competitor to the Mustang A. I think you'll find the Mustang D to be a tougher opponent, but then you have a G to play with it. The firepower is more than adequate to do the job and can quickly take down most things. Obviously, the A26 is something else, but it's a rarity at this tier. There are not many things that have that much defensive fire to it. Biggest single thing about them is that you have to get in, get out, and keep your range. Would have been much better to approach this thing without going to a painful climb to get to him, and to stay outside of his 50 caliber range. It's going to be about 1,640 yards if I remember right. I was in about 12, and that let him get a pair of guns on me and finish me off. Wasn't that high in health anyway, having suffered a couple of attacks, which goes back to the other thing that I'd like to talk about, which is its how sturdy it is. It's for a fighter, and all fighters are vulnerable by that standard. It's fairly tough. It's fairly tough. It can hang in there with the Mustangs. It can hang in there with the The other things you're likely to run across: the I-210 at this tier. It's more than a match for most of the tier 5 opponents. You watch me do a whirl around with an E, and neither one of us could get an advantage. He eventually got tired, and that cost him. So we just had to out endure him, something I'm pretty good at. And if your marksmanship is up to date, it's an aircraft you can really make pay off pretty well for you. Uh, Came in third on that on the winning side, which is always a good thing. There are some awfully good players out there these days. I killed 3, assisted with 7, so 10 aircraft kills. And came in 4 here. That's okay. We contributed to the team. It adds things to it. And there you can see survivability at 260, which at this tier for a standard fighter is pretty darn good. Gun armament, not as good as the Mustang, not as good as the is not as good as the Mustang. It's not as good as the Spitfire. It is better than the I-210. Airspeed is up there. It's competitive. And maneuverability is up there. Again, if you're going to play with a Spitfire, or you're going to be playing with some of the Japanese fighters, you're not going to win that. But in general, you're better off with the Frank than in the Mustang. There you're getting more speed, but you get less maneuverability. When it comes to high altitude, it is a very good high altitude performer. Help if I get on the right thing. 65, 62. Mustang's going to be right in the same category roughly. The Spitfire will not do nearly as well. And then if you run across an I-210, it's going to be right up there with you too. So that's the Frank in short. I hope I didn't make you too dizzy flying around with the other aircraft like that. As always, if you like the video, let me know. Like it, and by all means, I'm a new content provider. I need all the help I can get, so if you can subscribe, God bless you. Appreciate you very much. Thank you for spending the day with me, and we'll see you soon, I hope. Bye bye now.